If you belong to the upper echelon of crime bosses in the world, you probably have a lot of cash to manage. Where are you going to keep it? How are you going to move it? And most importantly, how are you going to launder it? That last one is a skill in itself. A skill that is very valuable in the underworld. In 2022, there was an estimated amount of $800 billion laundered globally. There is one Dutchman who played a role in this all, and often found himself at the table with the biggest crime bosses in the world. His name is Jeroen van der Heij, and this is his interesting story. There is not a lot of information known about Jeroen van der Heij in his early life, most likely because he just lived a regular and normal life in the Netherlands and did not have many run-ins with the police. He also made sure there are not a lot of pictures to be found on the internet of him, actually just one. Jeroen has no prior criminal record in the country. When he finished school, Jeroen did not know for sure what he wanted to do next. In an interview he did with NRC in December 2005, he says, "When I was 21, I did not know what I wanted to do after I finished school. I heard a lot about Dubai and the endless possibilities there. Dubai at that point in time was nothing compared to what it is today. It was a small city in the United Arab Emirates back then. However, the UAE was about to turn this city into a financial centre, a popular tourist destination, and perhaps not intended, the perfect hideout for the biggest criminals. Their seemingly never-ending oil supply allows their economy to grow at an unstoppable rate. This oil money is spent on building the skyline to what it is today." Jeroen decided to email the Burj Al Arab hotel inquiring about a job to work there. The Burj Al Arab hotel is not your average hotel. It actually is the first hotel ever to receive 7 stars. Unexpectedly, Jeroen is invited to work in the hotel. He was quite surprised, but immediately packed his bags and moved to Dubai to go and work in the hotel. Approximately a year after his arrival, he is asked by a hotel guest to manage the property portfolio of a foreign investment fund, which might seem odd. Why would anyone do that? Sources surrounding Jeroen have all mentioned that he is a very likable person and knows how to get people to believe in every word he says. In the NRC interview, he jokingly said, "In expensive hotels, you can make the best connections." This was the moment his entire life changed. In a short period of time, Jeroen starts making a lot of money. From not knowing what to do after finishing school to working in a 7-star hotel to managing an entire foreign property portfolio, life can change very fast. It is now 3 years after the NRC interview and Jeroen owns a nice Porsche and Mercedes. But that was not all. Jeroen bought him and his family a very luxurious villa in the Palm with a pool, 42-meter private beach, 6 bedrooms, and a pretty impressive driveway. But how did he manage to fund all of this so quickly? Well, Jeroen loved the luxurious life in Dubai, but maybe he loved it a bit too much, because to fund his lavish lifestyle, he got involved in some extremely shady business. This shady business was discovered by none other than the American DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration. If you're on the radar of the DEA and your name pops up in their documents, it is a sign that you are most likely involved in something very illegal. Jeroen's name popped up because the DEA was investigating a super cartel. They accused Jeroen of being affiliated to this super cartel and helping them launder large amounts of money. This super cartel consisted out of 4 major players in the drug smuggling circuit who bundled their expertise together and who you have probably heard of. Those major players were the Dutch Ridwan Taghi, the Dutch Edin G, the Irish Daniel Kinahan, and the Italian Raffaele Imperiale. Especially that last name is quite interesting for this story. Raffaele Imperiale is an Italian mob boss with ties to the Camorra. He was one of the biggest crime bosses who found his safe haven in Dubai for years and lived a luxurious life. Raffaele had many impressive villas and reportedly spent up to $800k a month on all things luxury, such as jewels and clothing. Unfortunately for him, Dubai wanted to get rid of criminals in their city, and Raffaele was one of them. He was arrested in August 2021 and deported back to Italy. Before his arrest, Raffaele and Jeroen were business partners. My question would be, why do business with the world's biggest criminals when you were already making good money prior? Jeroen would most likely answer that question by saying it's never enough. With Raffaele in prison, Jeroen might greatly regret their relationship, because it is going to take an unfortunate turn for the worst. Jeroen might have started off as a legit businessman, but he had progressed towards being a criminal money launderer. With his property broker office called AA Properties, he sells at least 250 properties a year in 2005 to 2007. The property market is absolutely booming in Dubai, and Jeroen gladly takes money from those who were eager to buy. He did so without doing any checks on where the money came from or who he was dealing with, which in his defense is not mandatory in Dubai. Combine that with the fact that in the small city, property was often paid for in cash at times. It was a very easy way to launder money. Mortgages and liquidity issues were non-existent at the time in Dubai. It is unclear where and how Jeroen and Rafael have met each other. What is for certain is that they have been long-time business partners through all kinds of interesting structures. According to Follow the Money, a Dutch platform for independent investigative journalists, Jeroen told everyone he came across that he did business with Rafael. Instead of keeping it quiet, he almost seemed proud of it. It stroked his ego that he was working with someone like Rafael, a man with stature and a lot of money. Besides his loudmouth, there were also factual documents that showed the two were working together and conducted business, and a, let's say, quite fascinating review on his website. Stay away as far as you can. The owner of this business, Mr. Jeroen, has stolen a lot of money from me in a real estate deal. By dealing with this guy, I also found out that he has money launderers and drug smugglers in his client base. His seemingly genuine and kind appearance are fake and deceptive. He does not have any morals. Stay away, he is pure garbage. Of course it is just a review. However, was this person spot on? Official Italian documents show that AA Properties, of which Jeroen is the CEO, can be linked to AA Investments and Developments. Rafael Imperial in his turn can be linked to be a co-owner of AA Investments and Developments. Besides the strikingly similar names, both offices had the same phone and fax number. And to add even more evidence to the fact the two men are doing business together, both offices were on the same 34th floor of the Concord Tower in Dubai. Imperiale seems to be a real smart man when it comes to his money laundering activities. The way it was all set up showed that he was not an amateur. It worked as follows. He has a ghost company on the British island called Man, an island known to be a fiscal paradise. In addition, he has a company in Spain, and as said previously, he is the co-owner of AA Investments and Developments in Dubai. Between these three companies, a lot of money has been shuffled around in the hopes of making the money harder to trace. Rafael Imperiale would also give Jeroen duffel bags full of cash money. Jeroen in his turn purchased properties for Rafael with his money. Evidence shows that Jeroen has done this more often for others as well. For whom exactly, besides Rafael Imperial, remains unknown till now. The DEA is still actively working on this case. Jeroen might deeply regret his ties with Rafael Imperiale. After his arrest in August 2021, Rafael immediately chose to cooperate with the police and basically turned into a snitch. When asked about how he launders his drug money, it is more than likely he will snitch on Jeroen as well. Police all over the world will be more than interested to know which criminals Rafael worked with to invest their drug money in Dubai. If this all ties back to Jeroen, or maybe even a fraction, he will be in serious trouble. The Dutch Financial Investigation Bureau is already looking into Jeroen, saying he is well known. He is on their radar as a potential money launderer. However, as of now, they do not seek immediate extradition from Dubai. Jeroen in his turn has denied any allegations made against him. In a lengthy letter, he pleads his innocence and claims that all the stories are fake. He says he has acted within law and legislation and only cared about connecting supply to demand as a mediator. His clients often acted through their lawyers or spokespersons, making it hard to know who he exactly was dealing with, Jeroen said. He went on to claim that it is not his job to check where the money comes from, but the banks to decide whether they will approve a payment. He obviously did not mention the loads of cash he accepted through physical payment. For now, Jeroen remains a suspect in money laundering activities happening in Dubai. He has seized the company as of 2019. Was this him saying he might be guilty and attempted to erase any traces? You tell me. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share your thoughts about Jeroen.